Greetings and salutations, my beautiful people, and welcome to the... Okay, and welcome to the Caddicarus show, where I always have to do the dirty deciding whether or not a game deserves to be slaughtered or salvaged. And today I'm going back into the world of movie tie-in games. Oh joy. But not just any movie tie-in game, a movie tie-in game based off of a direct-to-VHS and DVD movie. Oh yeah. So basically, to make it a little bit clearer in more layman terms, have a nice roast dinner one day and then go off to the toilet to have a good shit. Then come back downstairs and have your pudding. And then have another shit after that. Doesn't it pale in comparison? Do you feel remorse? Like you've insulted the really good shit before it by doing an afterthought splatty dessert shit? Well then, you take that shit and stick it in a plastic bag, and then you add rat piss into it. And you know rat piss? You know rat piss is like the worst fucking thing ever? Well, you put that in, sprinkle it all in, shake it all up in the bag, and then you have one of the worst ideas ever conceived by man, and that leads me on to Scooby-Doo and the fucking cyber chase. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm exaggerating here, but I got many requests to cover this game for... reasons? I don't honestly know. I know it's a PS1 game and all, and it's a system I grew up with and I cover a lot on this channel, but a Scooby-Doo one? Do more people have nostalgia for a Scooby-Doo branded PS1 game with lukewarm reviews than they do for Ape Escape? Or more hatred than Bubsy 3D? I don't know, but I hope this video does it justice, whatever the case. As far as Scooby-Doo himself is concerned though, I don't hate the show at all, don't love it either, I'm quite impartial. I love the cheesiness and underlying adult humor mixed in with the atmosphere. I love the way the first two seasons look, so fucking cool for 1969. But then everything else I can live without. The way every episode more or less plays out the exact same way and tries to be mysterious when it just fucking isn't, it's a parody of itself now. And the fact that they are seriously running out of ideas, and the fact they tried to get away with a laugh track that ruined the whole fucking show as far as I'm concerned, and the fact that Shaggy and Scooby-Doo Get a Clue exists. But hey, what do I know? Through all the repeats and rehashed ideas and... movies... PTSD! I guess I could commend the fact the show and its spin-offs are still relevant after nearly 50 years. It's pretty incredible how such a brand has been kept alive by, let's be honest, not the best action, writing, comedy, animation, or much else. It's brilliant. It's really, really inspiring. It's survived on pure charm, I think. It's brilliant. But inevitably, something this successful worms its way into direct-to-VHS and DVD territory, and good old Doobie Scoo was no exception, with many coming out at a random period from the late 90s to the early 2000s. Some of them, like Zombie Island, I actually really loved as a kid, and I think they still hold up today, but one of them was Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. I really don't like this thing. And I am never going to talk about it. I said once on Twitter that I didn't like Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, and I got condemned to hell at least 6 times, so I can't be doing with that kind of stress, so let's just forget about that, forget I ever said anything, and play the game already. I mean, straight off the bat, the concept behind this game is actually strong. The movie was about Mystery Inc. being stuck in a video game based on their most famous cases when they're attacked by the Phantom virus within the game, messing with the coding. So what better subject matter to make a game around than to base it around the game the movie itself made up? It's cool. But then the characters remember they have mouths and decide to use them.
You look like you've seen a ghost.
That thing wasn't a ghost!
That's strange.
Oh my fucking god, this is painful. What's with the pauses? Where's the point?
I don't like the sound of that. Iris. Like that's it? That scary.
You know what? I'm skipping this shit. Great start. And you can stay there until you've learned some respect. Oh look, it's a Crash Bandicoot 3 layout we have going on here, but lazy. Look, it's circular with themed areas, with pads you stand on to access the levels, and with a female character standing by on the save data machine. And your suspicious looking face shouldn't cease just yet, because you jump into the game and it's a linear stage-by-stage platformer that looks even more suspiciously like Crash Bandicoot. Except in Crash, you don't take 2 steps forward and get given a tutorial.
Picking up more than one Scooby snack in a row.
And then another one a few steps later.
Scooby, when you come to large gaps in the path.
And another.
I know you're hungry, Scooby.
And another.
Use your jump.
And another.
Those guards
Are you bored yet?
Yummy, yummy, yum!
Oh, and you collect pies to throw at the enemies during the game, and whenever you pick one up, every single time, without fail, right on the nuggets, Scooby says the most annoying thing ever. I think the last time I had this much fun was when I attended the annual Trombone Long Jump Championships of 2010.
Watch out for those ninjas, Scooby. They look mean.
Thanks, Daffers. I can see the guy, don't worry yourself. Oh, lovely. Thanks for the warning, Daphne. Look, I'm all for being looked out for, but don't waste your breath and my time warning me about threats that can be taken out easily from a safe distance without even waking them with a throwing weapon. And even Scooby sounds tired of your shit, honestly. Listen to the voice acting.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo!
Aw, poor little doggy can barely get his words out. Whoa! Oh, whoa! Watch out, Las Vegas. I found your newest stage act and he's a Great Dane called fucking Scooby who talks like this.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo!
Okay, well, this is certainly one of the most sluggish games I've ever played. Not just in the tutorial interruptions and frankly lazy sound recycling, but with, yeah, pretty much everything else. Controlling who the game decides you control between Shaggy and Scooby for each stage who play exactly the same way. You simply run from one end of the stage to the other, grab the Scooby snacks, and you win, on to the next level. You could collect everything in every stage because of the tallies at the end of each level, but you get no 100% completion bonus at all despite being teased as something greater at work that you have to put the effort into to win. And there are no in-stage or hub world secrets or special happenings whatsoever, so screw you and lick my toes. Do that 14 times and go up against 7 bosses and voila, you win Shaggy's pants or something. All while witnessing some true sweat and tears poured into this from when you're busy beating up dinosaurs, you know, as Scooby-Doo doos, only to then cheat death by total broken game design. Polished. To be honest though, it's visually sound, it's passable for 2001, they get the animations on Shaggy's run spot on, and it's pretty smooth with how it looks. It's not bad, just horrifically uninspired and yeah, sluggish. Same with the music, boring, forgettable, monotone, and sluggish. And same with the controls, man, the fucking controls. They work, I guess, but how much heavier do you need them in this game? I know Shaggy and Scooby eat so much they probably should be dying from hypercholesterolemia, but look at them! They can keep their food down, they're scrawny and lanky as fuck. And might I add, fuck is an awfully scrawny and lanky young man. So why are the controls this heavy? Shaggy runs like an old man farmer wading through his muddy crops. Every move you make is slow, every jump and double jump is heavy on momentum and just slightly delayed. And you feel like you're playing the beginning bit of nuts and bolts through the whole game. Come on. Come on! You can do it! Do it! Ah, shit!
Like, check this out! I'm Super Shag!
Oh, I bet you are. You dirty old cunt. The heaviness even carries on to vehicle stages like level 6 when I couldn't for the life of me get onto this ramp. I tried my hardest about 7 times before getting it. It was fucking ridiculous. And don't get me started on the level design. I tell you, it's some of the blandest and most boring designs for a 3D platform I've ever seen. It starts off pretty tame because it's early stages, understandable, but it never gets any more interesting, and no matter how far you get, it just looks so empty and dead everywhere. It's lifeless in many areas. Where's the energy, the cartoony antics, the detail, things to avoid or varied obstacles? Because of this emptiness meshed with the drab visual detail, it then ends up making every stage feel exactly the same, but with a slightly different skin. Hey, who asked for discount Crash Bandicoot? Anyone? No? Well, tough, you got it! Look at this epic chase. Look at all the things that are happening. It's heart-pounding, I know. After which, this then happens. You are having a bloody laugh, ain't you? And the levels are way too long. If you rush through them, you can be done relatively fast, but for what they actually have going on in them, they don't need their excessive length. They're padded out and slowed down to a ridiculous degree with its empty stretches and butt slamming on crates for every other item you need to pick up, which is then only accentuated by Super Shag's old man farmer running. I mean, yeah, it's pretty satisfying to collect loads of Scooby snacks in a row and have them multiplied on top of each other for bonus points and quicker ways to reach 100 Scooby snacks to get an extra life, but that's pretty much the only satisfying thing I can say. And as far as difficulty is concerned, their idea is adding more projectiles and hazards in condensed spaces on the same screen, and in the Egypt and Rome stages this is especially apparent. You know, not creating any imaginative platforming challenges or putting effort into enemy behaviors or placement, nah, just throw the same thing copy and pasted all in your face in one go, followed immediately by an empty stretch of nothing. In the Japan stages, sometimes it just decides that when there are no enemies, there is no game. Look, you can do this in your sleep, I'm serious. Already with Crash Bandicoot 1, a game 5 years before it, it has not only done nothing new, but taken way too many steps back in comparison. In fact, the funfair stages at the end of the game are the only parts it really comes alive on every department. The music is jolly and catchy, the visuals go batshit crazy and varied because of all the different sections as a theme park, the level design gets more unpredictable and creative with the platforming challenges, and the enemy behaviors and defenses actually do more animated and unpredictable things to keep you on your toes. All of this totally justifies the long and boring stage length I mentioned earlier. There's no padding in the fair stages, and it makes me only wish the entire game was built similar to this. It's just a shame that this is all stuck at the end of a boring and drab adventure to reach it in the first place, if you can be fucking bothered to reach it. Oh my god, am I actually seeing this? Are they break dancers as enemies? Okay. And hey, let's talk about pie throwing for a second. It works alright on docile enemies or far targets, but when it isn't making total jokes from new enemies with new attack patterns because Jesus Christ, you can kill them from a distance, like in Japan again. Whoa, mate, you alright? I haven't seen you before. Oh, never mind. But it's a huge issue anywhere else. Like here in level 10, the aiming reticle is far from ideal. It isn't accurate, it can't fire fast, you have limited shots, once you start aiming you're committed, and anywhere else if something has a projectile, since you can't move while aiming or throwing, it's a game of luck with who fires first and who moves out the way in time. And you better not run out of pies, otherwise Super Shag will have to teabag the enemies in the slowest and most ungraceful way possible, with a 50-50 chance of missing and getting hit.
Oh hey, look at this, that's pretty fucking familiar. I wonder where that idea came from. Oh, I don't know, Danger Mouse.
Wait a gosh darn second. I just noticed. I have to pick up these Scooby snacks at the end of the stages because, well, there is no reason other than to beat the level. But why do that when I'm picking up all of these Scooby snacks that are scattered in the stages themselves? That's like playing Spyro 3 and picking up the dragon eggs to beat the game, while collecting hundreds of slightly smaller dragon eggs just to eat them for extra lives because you're a cannibalistic hussy! Okay, level 3 in Rome is easily my least favorite level in the whole game. I know it's early stages, but absolutely everything is wrong here. Super Shag is fully utilizing his old man farmer running technique while combating some of the heaviest platforming, awkward camera angles, and stiffest enemy defense ever put into a video game. You have no idea where you are spatially, where you need to jump, how far you need to jump, know any kind of distance from in front of you or below you, and if you get hit, you will suffer knockback, which will send you careening to your untimely death. Look at this all, it's a mess. This is a kid's game, right? I don't even know what's going on. And what the hell is up with these bosses? There are 7 of them and not one of them is good. Boss 1 opens up with the Phantom Virus sounding like Revolver Ocelot.
You can try to get past this boss.
The man with the same code as the boss.
And then the boss begins, which is honestly very easy, but the slow movement makes it a little bit more unfair than it needs to be. Also, thanks for telling me when I can hit the boss, game, because if you didn't, I wouldn't have realized that this was the chance to hit him, and this wasn't on his second bit of health. That's cheap. Boss 2. Oh, this looks familiar again. We're in Rome with a big cat boss who sends his minions after you before jumping around at you for a little bit before he can take a hit. Oh, golly gosh, cheese in my whiskers. Where have I seen that before? Crash! So it's basically a discount Tiny Tiger with Super Shag being far too slow to avoid practically anything again, and with the cheapest ending ever. I beat the boss, put the controller down, and oh gee, that's wonderful. Fuck you. I beat the boss. Can't I enjoy the victory? Does that mean I would have lost the whole thing if I had no health left? Boss 3 is Ice Physics the boss. It's awful. I mean, it is funny to see Super Shag fitting around like he's deep in the biggest invisible cat fight in the world, but it's still annoying. Also, how do you make snowballs out of flat ice? Boss 4 is Stand Still the boss.
Mrs. D, Mrs. I, Mrs. F, F, I, Mrs. C, Mrs. U, Mrs. L, T, Y.
Also, kids, next time you see a T-Rex, throw pies at it. That'll show them. That's exactly what Jeff Goldblum forgot to do, and you know what happened there. Boss 5 is relatively challenging, I guess, but still nothing special. Just a little bit disorientating with your position constantly moving and small window of time to aim and fire while avoiding bombs. Probably the best boss, but still not good though. Boss 6 is the second worst boss ever. You run around throwing pies at mummies to make them fall and then hit a camel. That's it. Look at this shit. It's tedious, boring, awkward, and the more mummies that are on screen, the more irritating it gets. It's not hard at all, just irritating and boring. Look, nothing is going on here. Boss 7 though, the final boss, is the first worst boss ever. The Phantom Virus is the cheapest son of a bitch I've ever fought in a video game purely because he moves too fast. No, I'm not complaining and finding excuses because I found him difficult. Look, he is too fast. Look. What am I doing wrong? Should I be running somewhere else? I replayed this asshole 6 times before beating him and regaining some needed lives, and I swear it was pure luck. I knew the patterns inside out, but look! This isn't fair. What the fuck do you do? You get lucky. That's basically it. And after all of that shit, you chase the virus out of the game world finally, and then what happens at the end? This.
We looked all over the place for a trap, but we couldn't find anything that would work.
And then I remembered that this system has virus protection software on it.
I always knew that software would come in handy one day.
Fuck you. You gormless cow.
You guys still want to be in a video game?
We almost died, you pieces of shit. Where were you, you cowards? You could have just zapped him in level 1 and whoop, but nah, let's sacrifice the lowest of our group to chase the fucker around until we're done laughing at them. I hate you. I don't want to see you. I want to see you.
I don't know.
I know that anyone that's nostalgic over this game would disagree with me entirely, and anyone that isn't nostalgic over this game would think I was being too harsh, but you know what? No, let's not go down there, because we only recently covered Stuart Little 2, and that did the 3D platformer thing alright for something that's aimed more at kids. Hell, how about Quack Attack? That did the whole linear stage-by-stage platformer thing in 3D. Alright, and I would argue that was even more aimed at kids because it's fucking Disney's Donald Duck. Hell, even Crash Bandicoot 1. For as dated as it is, all of these games combined all do the linear stage-by-stage 3D platformer thing wonderfully for anyone at any age, and they all have more content than Scooby-Doo. More surprises, more secrets, more rewards, more replayability. I mean, what is this fucking game's excuse? And those games down here, these three, at least they don't pander to everybody. They respect intelligence enough to not tell their players exactly how to beat a boss and then go on to tell them when they can hit the boss. It's silly really, especially since they get so cheap and difficult even for me, a 21-year-old. So why would you bother trying to overly guide your inexperienced players when those inexperienced players could barely play those bits anyway? This game isn't the worst, but it's still pretty fucking bad, and I wouldn't recommend it. It's a total waste of time even if you love that dog that can't talk properly. So as far as I'm concerned, Scooby-Doo and the Super Shag get the slaughter. Oh, cocks. Oh, fuck. I only went and shot it with the wrong fucking gun. I didn't mean to use my patent-pending evolve into an even worse thing from the same series gun. God damn it. Okay. What did I turn it into then? Oh no. Oh no. Oh, you're joking me. No. No. I said I wouldn't talk about it. No! The internet will hang me for this! No! Hey everybody, and thanks so much for watching this video. The outtakes will be on in just a second, so please stay tuned, because first I'd like to say, well, I'd like to ask you actually, did you know I have my own t-shirts now? Yes, they're on theyeti.com, alongside all these other great names like JonTron, PBG, Pro Jared, The Completionist, Did You Know Gaming, Hot Pepper Gaming, and even Octodad and The Binding of Isaac, believe it or not. It's really damn cool, and thank you so much, Nico, for doing these beautiful designs of, well, my Caddicarus slaughter or salvaging, and one of the oldest phrases I ever coined from days gone by, 2.5D. So, links are in the description. And if you decide to get them, thank you so much, and enjoy them if you do. If not, then thanks for listening anyway, and here are some outtakes for you. So basically, to make it a little bit clearer, more layman. Which one's Stuart? I forgot the games. I can't, but this is my job. And I haven't got the right games. Why are you subscribed to me? I'm fucking useless. Even Crash Bandicoot 1, the first one, for as dated as that is, does the thing. I've forgotten the line, I was so close. So basically, to make it a little bit clearer. So basically, to make it a bit clearer. So basically, to make it a little bit clearer, and but in more.